welcome to Library Connection. I'm your hostess, Mandy Cantrell. I'm able to be involved with several community activities in my job at the library, and one of them is the Prevention Coalition Team. It's led by Richard Bonds through Chehaw Mental Health, and the mission of that team is to let students know or anyone know about the dangers of risky behavior, smoking, drinking, drugs, things like that. At one of our meetings, Richard had asked Philip Cosper, who is assistant principal at B.B. Comer High School, to bring some of his student leadership team. So he brought several of their students, and they were telling us about a TV commercial they've been involved with, a radio commercial, and some other activities. And I was just very impressed with those students and those their leaders, and I wanted to have them on TV so everyone else could hear about the things they're doing. Well, thank you, Philip, for joining us.
And thank you so much for having us. B.B. Comer is proud to come out and share our news. We're doing a lot of exciting things, but a little history of our student leadership team. 2 years ago, when Dr. Lacey selected our school to go to a one-to-one, she wanted a radical change and a cultural change, and so she wanted everybody involved. And Mr. Worley, Brittany Brown, and I gathered our students because they are who we are all about. Yes. That's right. And so they interviewed and worked hard to get on the student leadership team, and we wanted their advice, their opinions on what they wanted their school to be. So what better to tell about the student leadership team than the members of the student leadership team. So I have Gracie Wade and Madison Brown and Olivia Patterson.
Good. Thank you, girls, for being here with us.
Thank you.
I know you're having to miss class, and that's okay. Everybody says it's okay for a little while, yeah. So y'all are on the student leadership team. Now, you're seniors, is that correct? Yes. How many years have you been on the team?
I have been on the student leadership team for 2 years.
Okay.
I've also been on the student leadership team for 2 years.
Okay.
Oh, me too.
For 2 years, great. Tell me about the process. How did you, Madison, you've got the mic, you just go ahead. How did you join the team?
So they basically put out an announcement asking people to sign up for it, and we all did. So then you had to put in an application. They checked your grades, your attendance, your discipline, if you had any. And then if you passed that, you then went on to an interview with our guidance counselor, Ms. Shaw, and a few other people to interview you.
Right, right. Well, one of you girls can feel it. Was it a very difficult process? What do you, how was the process?
It was really nerve-wracking for me because I'd never gone through an interview.
Right.
So at first it was really scary, but after you get used to it and you start talking in front of people a lot, you just get used to it. So it's difficult at first.
Great experience. I can tell you, when you have a job interview later on in a few years, it'll be worth it. You already know kind of what to do. Well, Gracie, tell us some of the other things y'all do on the team.
We also do tours throughout the school. When we first got our computers, we had several schools come and look at what we was doing because they were starting the same thing as us in January of the following year. So basically what we did was just show them how to do it.
Right. So, now y'all did the one-to-one, so kind of explain what that means, a one-to-one initiative.
Oh, our one-to-one initiative is basically every student gave a MacBook Pro, and we get to take it home and do our homework, and we use them in class along with our Apple TVs.
Wow.
It's really helpful. It is.
That is great experience. Now, I know y'all get to give the tours. You've had people from all over the country come. Is that correct? All over the country. Good, good. And the one-to-one, that starts in kindergarten, doesn't it? The one-to-one starts.
It does. B.B. Comer Elementary School, they do have iPads, and as they progress on up into the grades, they do have MacBook Pros.
Right.
And so they are ready to use once they get here.
That's great. So those that teach with you have had to kind of relearn some things or try some new things. It's a great opportunity.
Yes, our teachers have gone through rigorous digital training. Brittany Brown has done a lot of that training, and just we've got to reach our students, and it is a technological age, and so we have to reach them by what they're using, what they're comfortable using. Our students have embraced that change. Everything is really improved at B.B. Comer. Discipline has dropped, attendance issues has dropped, so it's a great time at B.B. Comer.
Well, that is great. Well, the one-to-one is a whole other TV program. I almost forget.
Yes.
We're here for the student leadership team. What grades does that?
Student leadership teams 8 through 12, and so we kind of watch them through 7th grade, and then end of the year they go through an application process, an interview process, and so we do meet in the summers to talk about the new year's, what they liked the previous year, what they want to see, which way they feel like they want their school to go.
That's great. Is it very nice to have an input into your school? I'm sure it is.
It is. It's really nice to have your voice be heard, and I'll let Olivia and Madison elaborate on what they like about it.
Yes, tell me what you like about student leadership team.
Well, I feel like we do get a lot more say. Like, I got to interview the new football coach, which I'm also an athlete, so I think that played a big role, but you just feel important in your school. So.
That's great. That is wonderful. Yeah.
I just like it because, you get out of class, and that's a fabulous time.
Hey, everybody likes it. It's great. Yeah.
But it's great because, as a teenager, sometimes you feel like people don't really look to you as a leadership position, but when you notice that your teachers and your principals and vice principals see that you've been working hard and they realize that you can help other people be a leader also, it's very nice.
Yeah. Do you find that it's hard? I know, like you said, you are having to miss class some, and you miss class to give tours and to do other things. Is it difficult to catch up on your work? I know your teachers work with you, I'm sure.
Yes. So, personally, I don't find it hard to catch up on my work. I have friends who are always in class, and they'll give me the work that I've missed, and I'll go home and work on it at home on my computer, and it's not hard for me. But
everybody feel kind of the same way? Well, good. Now, do you have other friends who might like to apply for the student leadership team next year, or is this a process every year?
Yes, this is a very competitive process because this past year our student leadership team got a lot of airtime. They did the commercials and stuff, and so it is a competitive process.
It is. Okay, so not everybody makes it. I mean, I hate to say that, but it is. I mean, that's okay. It's good to learn that.
But they work hard in the next year, and it's always next year.
Good. That's true. That's true. Tell me about the commercial that y'all did.
Last year, Mr. Richard Bonds with the Prevention Coalition came to us with an idea, and it was a big idea. It was a commercial to talk about underage drinking and driving, and he said, "Would you be willing to do this?" And I said, "Absolutely. I got a team of students that could do this and work very hard on it." And so I gathered the troops, got about 6 of our seniors. Said, here it is. Here's your time to shine. So I need you to write a script. And
they wrote the script.
They wrote the script from scratch, and we worked closely with this station, TV 47, and Michael Crane and Richard Bonds, and they wrote the script in my office one afternoon. It was approved, and we got the community involved, and we went crazy with it. And I'll let them share a little bit about their experience with the commercial.
Now, y'all were juniors last year, right, when this was going on. Just tell me a little bit about the writing of it, how you went at producing it, or you starred in it, or whatever. Go ahead, just whoever, tell me.
The scene that we were all mainly in was the party scene where people are drinking, and that was a really fun time. It was also very weird to drink other drinks out of beer bottles. It was just strange, and I had a blast doing it. It was a fun time.
Yeah. Well, you might aspire to act one day, be an actress.
You never know what could happen.
That's true. That's true. Were either of you other girls involved in the writing of the?
It was just a scene.
Okay, yeah, but I bet that was difficult. But who better to write a commercial for teens than a teenager?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, tell about the parts that you had. Gracie, you want to tell a bit about your part in the...
I was also a part of the party scene with Madison and Olivia. I agree with what Madison said. It was a lot of fun. It was weird at the same time. But it was real eye-opening because, I mean, you see this stuff on TV, but... it doesn't connect as well. When you actually get to be a part of something, then it really opens your eyes, and it makes you want to go out into your school and be like, don't do that. It could really happen. And it was just very surreal.
I bet it was. Did you tape the commercial like after school, in the evenings, things like that?
Yes, we did. We did it at somebody's house, and it went on till about, 10:30, and
which is rough on a school night when you've got homework. I know, but so worth it. What is the story? I know we're going to show the commercial at our break, but who can kind of tell about the story for the commercial?
It's a scene after prom. Everybody's dressed up, and they go to a after prom party.
Yes.
And everybody is drinking, and then you have these teenagers that are like leaving from the party. They've been drinking, of course, and they get into a car accident. And the next year, like, it's kind of like a flashback. The teenager that was a part of the wreck but made it through the scene has a flashback on, hey, my girlfriend died in a car accident last year, and one of the students, Laura, had told him, hey, that's not right. And everybody notices, and at the end you just all come together and you see that it's just not something fun to do.
I think I've seen the commercial, and you're going to see it, but he starts to take a drink, I think, and then the flashback of what happened last year, and he decides not to. That's great. Now, I cannot imagine seeing one of my friends in a body bag and seeing, a wreck and all of that. I know that was very difficult. And who helped you with it? I know you had to have ambulance, fire, things like that.
I think we did. We had the fire department, an ambulance, the sheriff. There was so many people there to help out and make it look as real as possible. And it is something scary to see your friend, one of your classmates, being zipped up in a body bag. And I know it was hard for her mom too.
Oh, I did. I read that in the newspaper, that it was very difficult for her to do that, even though it's not real.
Yeah.
You know it's not real. Well, has this made you think twice about being involved in anything like that? I'm sure it has.
Me personally, absolutely, because, when you're in the South, most people, drink, and it just makes you realize that it's just not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth losing your life over just to have fun like that.
I know. That's one night. I know.
I think it's also opened our eyes as being seniors and going to college next year. A lot of people do go to college and wind up dropping out because they get involved in the party scene, as I'm going to call it.
Right.
And it makes you think twice before you do something, because you haven't done it, but you've been a part of it.
Right.
So,
how did your friends react to the commercial, seeing you in the commercial? What's that?
They were shocked.
Okay.
We're good kids.
I thought so. That's why you're here.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think it hit home with a lot of people. So.
Because you're right, college does change a little bit. And in just a minute, we're going to show the commercial, but talking about college, now what are y'all's plans? We'll just briefly kind of touch this.
I'm planning to go to Jefferson State Community College and attend the mortuary program to become a funeral director and a mortician.
Okay, a little bit different, but I think it's great. I'm glad people do that.
Yes.
How about you, Olivia? What are your plans?
I'm planning to attend UAB and hopefully get my BSN for nursing, and then maybe move on to graduate school and get my nursing practitioner.
Great. Okay.
I plan to go to Auburn University and become a pharmacist and go to the Harrison School of Pharmacy for graduate school. So.
Wonderful. Thank you, girls, so much for being here. And on our break, we're going to watch the commercial, and then we'll come back and talk to Mr. Cosper again and some more of the students on the student leadership team at BB Comer High School. Please join us.
Hey, come on in. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Y'all, what about Alexis? Where's she at tonight?
And hey, what about Nate?
Hello and welcome back to Library Connection. I'm your hostess, Mandy Cantrell. Joining me on Library Connection Day today is Mr. Philip Cosper. He's assistant principal at BB Comer High School. And in the first part of our show, we had 3 students from the student leadership team at Comer High School. Now we have 3 more. We're going to be talking with them in just a minute. What you've just seen is the commercial that they wrote and starred in and put together on underage drinking and trying to let people know, don't drink. This came out in the spring during prom time, didn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is it still running now?
It is still running. We just found out, Mr. Richard Bonds told us that it is showing in all Lee Branch theaters in Birmingham during the screen-o-vision before the movies. So it'll be running through October 2015. So it was on ABC 3340 as well, on one of their splash pages to. So these kids, I'm very, very proud of them. They've gotten a lot of airtime, and their message is being heard all across the state.
Tell me real quick, what's a splash page? 3340.
Splash page is where it's just like a little web page. It's interactive where they can go on and take the pledge to not drink and drive.
Okay. So if someone wanted to go see the commercial, they just go to the 3340 website and look for that.
Yes.
Good. That's right. What I wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Now this is not their only project. They
No,
had
this was last year, and so every year I want our student leadership team to have the opportunity to shine. So this year, Mr. Richard Bonds first came up with a theme: everyone's not doing it, and meaning drinking and cigarettes and drugs. And so we first did a survey with the University of Alabama. It's a pride survey, and the results were kind of impressive. You know, everybody thinks that their peers drink and drive and do drugs. In fact, 81% of our students thought that their friends actually drank on a regular basis. But 87% of our students said that they had not had a drink in the last 30 days. Oh, wow. And 61% had said they had not had a drink at all. And we had surveyed 7 through 12.
That's wonderful. So really, I mean, everybody's not doing it.
Right.
We do tend to think everybody, even as adults, we think, oh, all kids are doing that.
So
that's great.
He came to us and said, "Hey, I want to do a radio commercial first." And so I gathered my student leadership team, and I'd like to introduce some of them. This is Marquellis Green, and Raina Herring-Dine, and Catherine Gable. Good. And they were on the commercial team, and so I'm going to let them talk about the commercial and what was it all about.
Well, Raina, you've got the mic. Tell us about the commercial. How did you begin?
Well, we began by being called down into the conference room at school.
Oh, that's kind of a serious thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
called to the office.
You hear all these kids called over the intercom, and we go down there, and we're presented with the idea to do a radio commercial. And we knew that the student leadership team, because we were a part of it last year, had done a TV commercial previously, and so we were actually really excited to have the opportunity again. Yeah. And this time it was different because it was radio. Right. And Mr. Cosper gathered us all into his office yet again, and
apparently that's where creativity flows.
Oh, that's great, good.
Well, and we wrote the script and recorded it in there, sent it off. It was approved, and there it is.
Wonderful. Well, Catherine, let me ask you, how different is it writing a radio commercial? I mean, you can't, because people can't see your facial expressions. How is that?
They can't see you. You have to put your minds to work when you write a radio commercial. I mean, you have to think of anything that might catch people's attention with them not being able to see you. So that was very interesting. We had to put some serious thought into it. It's not the easiest thing to do at all.
I don't think so.
But it was very interesting.
I bet
Turned
it
out
was.
very good.
Marquellis, let me let you take the mic. How do you get started writing a radio? Well, you have your topic, right? And what happens after that?
Well, what you have to do is you have to see what's going to catch the listener's attention.
Yes.
You have to, some way engage, get involved with it. So it's like you said, you can't really see the facial expressions, but your tone of voice, how you say things, how you present it, and with us being teenagers, you have to really be a teenager as well. So you have to catch that vibe.
That's great. Well, how did your friends react to your commercial?
Well, it was Snickers, It was. I mean, I believe they enjoyed it. I bet they would want to do it. It was fun. It was fun.
I bet. Well, Raina, let me ask you, where did you go to officially tape? Now, so you had to tape it and have it approved. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Right,
first, as I said, we had to write the script, and that had to be approved first.
Okay.
And then actually, we recorded it in Mr. Cosper's office. Seriously.
Oh, the real one.
Yes,
that
ma'am.
goes on. Oh, well, how neat. How many of you were involved in the radio commercial?
The 3 previous students, Gracie Wade, Olivia Patterson, and Madison Brown, that we saw earlier, and then us 3.
Oh, the 3 of us, huh? 3 of you. Well, that is interesting. We're going to hear, actually, I'm going to see if they can go ahead and play that commercial, so I'd love for you to hear it.
Hey guys, I'm gonna see y'all at the party tonight, right?
Sure, I'll be there.
Well, I don't know. We were actually thinking about going to Airwalk.
Come on, it's the part of the year.
Yeah, because you're going to be drinking, right?
Of course, everybody does it.
Actually, not everyone is doing it. Only about 25% of our classmates are drinking.
Really?
Say word.
Yep.
This is a message from the B.B. Comer Memorial High School Student Leadership Team. Take the pledge with your peers. Don't let alcohol interfere. Everyone's not doing it.
That was great. I've heard it on the radio, I believe. Tell me about the pledge part of it, Mr. Cosper.
Well, the pledge is through Richard Bonds' coalition, and it's a pledge to not drink and drive and not do drugs, and we're working on getting that out, and it's just the pitch of everyone's not doing it, and we have to change the social norms. I mean. These students realize how big an impact they have on other students, because students will listen to other students.
Oh, yes.
And so they don't always listen to the adults because they don't know anything.
I know.
So,
parents and teachers, I know.
So it's been good, and we're not done yet.
I know. Well, I know it takes a lot of time for you. And who is the other person that helps with the team? Brittany Brown.
She's our digital learning specialist, and she works with our student leadership team to give them opportunities to shine and to represent our school extremely well.
Do y'all meet with them every so often?
Yes, we meet a couple of times a month, and then with this group, I've met with them a lot because we do have a future project in the works.
Oh, okay. Can you tell anything about that?
I'm going to let them elaborate.
Okay. I know I've heard don't give it away, but tell just a little bit about your future project.
Well, the project is going to be bigger. It's going to be much bigger.
Bigger than radio and bigger than TV.
Yes, ma'am. Especially bigger than the previous one.
Okay.
And, as we have more opportunities, we want to go on a grander scale.
Yes.
So, people will enjoy it and it will catch attention.
Okay. Now, I guess you guys are seniors. You might not be involved in the next one. Is that, or do you think you will be involved? Is it going to start happening right now,
yes.
or will it be? Oh, so you will be involved in
yes.
it. Great. Anything you can tell us, Raina, about it?
I really am not supposed to give anything away.
That's okay. Don't tell.
But it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to working on it, and I don't know about you guys, but it's going to be exciting.
Well, and I'm sure your fellow students look to you, since you've taken this position on the team as a leader in their school. So it's wonderful that you are presenting that kind of an example to your friends. And Catherine, I know I asked the group before, the team takes a lot of time. I know you're taping commercials at night, in the evenings. You meet during the summer. How does that work with school? How are you able to make all that work together?
Well, you have to balance your schedule. It teaches you time maintenance at the same time, but it's also teaching you leadership skills. I mean, it's very hard to go from spending so much time working on all these extracurricular activities, but we still excel in our academics. I mean, that's a big part of why we're a part of the student leadership team. It just teaches you maintenance time.
Yes, how to manage your time and still be involved in lots of things. That's great. That is great. Well, we'll talk just a minute. Tell us about your plans. Y'all are seniors. Go ahead, Catherine. What are your plans after high school?
Well, my plans, as Olivia's, I plan to attend UAB in the fall and major in biomedical engineering / pre-med.
Wow, okay. That's great.
I've recently decided to attend Troy University. And I know my minor. I want to minor in theater, but my major, I'm undecided. I think I want to go and be an RN.
Oh, okay. You have plenty of time to decide. But theater, you're getting some great experience here with the radio and the TV. That's great.
Well, I plan on attending the University of South Alabama to major in nursing and minor in Spanish. I really like Spanish in high school, so I think those two are intertwined pretty well.
That is great. Well, y'all have some great plans, and I know y'all do excel in the classroom as well as in your other endeavors.
Yes,
are there any other, I know you've got this big project coming up. Anything else you want to tell us about the team, the things they do, things they're involved in?
I can't be more proud of our team, and especially, you know, our group of seniors. I feel like they shine. They make our school just what it is, and it's great. And I hate to see them leave. I'm so proud of them. And last year's group meant so much to me because it was my first year at Comer, and we did so much. And so this year, I'm so excited about the new commercial and the exciting things we're going to do with it. And I'm very proud of them. Mr. Warlick and I know all of us and Dr. Lacey are extremely proud of them.
I know. It's really nice for us in the community to see students involved in things like this. We're real proud of y'all too. I know y'all do miss a lot of class, a lot of things like that going on. Anything else going on at Comer School? You've got the one-to-one initiative. Do you still have groups come through?
Yes, we do have groups coming through. We have 2 groups, Sylacauga Leadership Team will be coming through at the end of this month. And right now our focus is on increasing the rigor. And next year we are going to have more pre-AP and AP classes. And so this week actually we are meeting with all our parents to talk with those parents about the increased rigor next year and the opportunities their children are going to have to take AP courses so they can clip some courses in college.
Oh, that would be wonderful. So, as a parent with children in college, yes, it'd be wonderful.
We have the cultural change, we have the pride change, and now we're really focusing on the curriculum and academics.
Great, great. Now, the leadership team covers 7th through 12th grade. So
8th through 12th.
8th through 12th.
8th
okay.
through 12th.
After, you have to go 1 year of high school there.
Right. We have to kind of watch them in 7th grade, let them grow up a little bit.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We've had Philip Cosper and the students on the student leadership team at BB Comer. Thank you for joining us on Library Connection.
Thank you.